Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Rebirth Era. My name is Jessica Jade Patterson, and I'm very excited to welcome you back for another episode. It has been a minute. It's been a hot minute since I posted anything. I think I said in one of my last episodes, like I said a little bit of a caveat of I'm going to do my best to post regularly, but it was really in a time that I knew that potentially would not be the case. So I think I said I'd try and do my best, and whatever happens, happens. As any of my loyal listeners have known in the past, sometimes I just drop off the face of the planet for like a month or two. This was a good 6 months, I think. I actually haven't looked at the dates, but it's been a while. And truthfully, it's because my body and my mind and my soul were all telling me the same thing. It's time to slow down, be present, and be there with your practices and just see what is available to you. What do you have to learn in this new level, and what does your body need truthfully versus what you're telling yourself it needs? So prior to leaving the clinic, so if you have listened to the first couple of episodes, you know that I've left the radiation therapy world after 10 years of being in service to people with their cancer, which was just one of the most incredible journeys of my whole entire life. But the landscape of healthcare seriously changed at the beginning of 2020, and I worked in private, which was already its own different sort of set of circumstances. Anybody who's worked in public versus private would probably have an idea of that. But if not, there are a lot more benefits to being in the public system for the people who are serving you, from the government, from just the law, from all sorts of things. And so working privately is a little bit different. You've got less numbers. And so it's already a pretty big crunch. And then every year there's like an annual review, just like a business, to determine where the cut of costs needs to happen and all sorts of things. And so that was already very evident in the world prior to 2020. And then 2020 happened, and we all know what happened in 2020. And things just took a turn for the educational and growth producing. That is how I'm choosing to phrase it. You can take it any way you like. But for me, I truly believe that the reason that I've experienced a lot of hardship in this world and in this life is because every single time shit hit the fan, I learnt a lot from it. I learned a lot about my relationships with I learned a lot about my relationship with myself, and I learnt a lot about what I want. And I'm always the kind of person who tests and measures my world and sees what I can do, how much I can do, and what's for the best for me, truly. And so I'm always refining that practice. I was pretty much always doing that before I had my spiritual awakening. However, it just took a different turn when 2020 happened, which was when I had my awakening, but also the world of my workplace changed indefinitely. And it's all about just being malleable to change and understanding that change is growth, and growth isn't necessarily always comfortable, but it does get you exactly where you're supposed to be going or where you want to go, depending on the path in which you're choosing to take, which we'll get a lot into as we go through the podcast over the coming weeks and months and all sorts of things. But for this moment, because it's been a hot second since I've recorded anything, I really just wanted to do a double drop of some really valuable things that's worth knowing when it comes to a rebirth, or when it comes to being a human on this planet. And so the first thing that we're going to talk about today, before we get into the next episode, which is all about seeing the perfection in everything, which is how you become neutral. So firstly, before you become neutral, you have to understand that in this world that we live in, this very modern, cool world, a lot of us have grown up with certain beliefs about feeling your feelings and what that means about you and what that means just in general about the world, which is so ironic because probably a lot of us watch TV and movies. If you're anything like me, I grew up watching TV and movies and watching people have these incredible emotional displays on camera, like because like as soon as someone says go, like they're ready to go. And I've also gotten the privilege of seeing this in real life when I have been on a couple of different sets for TV and things. And it's just fascinating how actors are able to tap into that unapologetically and express this from a place of maybe truth or maybe practice, where in our real world and in our society, especially in a professional setting, emotions are essentially like I was going to say like the devil, but I really don't want to use that word necessarily. They're really shunned. Like you're not, like if you feel your feelings, for me personally, from my personal experience about feeling my feelings in the past, I had to get really good at it. As a radiation therapy, as a radiation therapist in the clinic, I trained myself through uni to have emotional breakdowns in private when no one else knows about it. This is something I actually still struggle with to this day. Feeling my feelings in private, a-okay, safe, fine. Sometimes takes a minute of coaxing, but we get there. Feeling my feelings in front of other people has been a journey in and of itself, to learn to be comfortable with, to learn to embrace if somebody else is trying to hush me, like learning to lean into the side of me that's defiant and go, no, you know what? I'm actually allowed to feel this. It's okay for me to do this today, and really standing my ground and knowing my boundaries and values and being okay with that. And it's been a journey. I'm still on that journey. The other day, I had a call, an interesting, like a discovery call for a potential new mentor. And I was working my way up through the people in the ladder, essentially. And I was having a rebirthy week. If you are listening to this really soon after I release it, it was like a full moon, blood moon or something this week. And I know I really felt it, even though I wasn't really like on top of my full moon is happening right now game, but I was really feeling it. And so many people that I've spoken to have had these huge emotional releases this week that are saying the same thing. It's like, oh my God, all of this emotion has just come out of me. What's wrong with me? Da 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 da. First and foremost, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you for feeling a feeling. It's so human. It's so normal. We're just not taught that it's normal and that it's okay, but it is. It's more than okay. And actually, the more that you release these feelings that are pent up inside of you, the more space you have for magic, miracles, and blessings to come into your life and just like rain down on you, like the rain outside, if you can hear that right now. And so today I really want to talk about feeling your feelings, how to know if a feeling's stuck in you, some different ways to somatically release feelings, and just giving you education in the form of, there are people out there, and I'm using myself as evidence, that are trying to jump on board with the idea that feeling your feelings is okay. You can sign on to any reality and belief system. It's a choice. Yes, you might have grown up learning certain things a certain way. Yes, a lot of the people around you might believe a certain thing about a certain thing, and you believe that too. But also, yes, you have the choice about whether you continue to follow that road, follow what everybody else is doing, or listen to your own heart and go, this is something I really need to do for myself. And that's going to be the difference on every episode, on every time I talk. Everything is just an option. It's a choice. And it's not to say that you can buy into the idea that you're going to win the lottery and you just keep buying into the idea of it and you keep buying the ticket. That is essentially what we're saying. But in order to create a reality where something like that is possible, you first need to create a reality where you have a good relationship with yourself, or an okay relationship with yourself, because we are living in a world that has a lot of money put into marketing to make us feel the opposite of that, which is okay. This is just part of the challenge of being a human on this planet at this time. And I hate that. I hate it so much, but I equally love a challenge, and I equally love proving people wrong. Two things can be true. Again, I still choose to work on myself to overcome these things, because I don't want to let anything like that control me ever. If I'm going to let anything control me, it's going to be the things that I decide for myself and the way that I choose to see the world. That's going to be the defining force in my life. And I sincerely hope that by listening to this, that something along those lines that feels true to you is something that you choose to adopt going forward. Because when you start to take the power back into your own hands, the choice back into your own hands, and the decision that I want to live my best and most amazing life, however that looks in this moment, even if it's just changing one little thing and being really excited about your life because of that one choice that you've made, that's enough. It's enough. You're already enough. You don't need to do anything as long as you're choosing yourself, prioritizing yourself and going, is this what I really want today? Or am I just telling myself that it is, or is someone else telling myself that it is? Maybe it's all three. Maybe it's none. But just asking yourself questions to get a better understanding of who you are in this world versus who you've been told to be is where we want to go. That's the vibe. So, having said that, let's talk about emotions. So, learning to feel your emotions and learning to ask yourself questions around your emotions is a skill. And not everybody's taught it. I definitely wasn't taught it. I was taught to hide them. And by different people all through my life, school especially, like there's so many, like you get praised for being the good girl who like is always on time and never says anything against anyone, all of these sorts of things. I've been all different versions of all different people, and truthfully, the one that was my least favorite was probably like the good girl. It definitely like worked for a minute, but as much as like being a bit chaotic and outspoken has been an identity that I've also had in the past, standing up for myself and saying my truth is my literal favorite thing on the whole entire planet. And ever denying myself of that was, in order to survive, let's think 2020 and beyond. And, you know, rules getting stricter and everybody thinking that they're doing the right thing to keep you safe, but not actually taking into account what is healthiest or what is the best for everyone or all these sorts of things. It's just be better, do better, and then we'll like you. It really ends up taking a toll on you over time. The more you compromise yourself, the more you lose yourself. And so even my break over the last 6 months has been a huge self-discovery piece after allowing myself to try not to feel my feelings and just be agreeable and what everybody else needed for me or of me in the time. In order to also keep my job, keep my house over my head, all these sorts of things. So I feel you, I get it, I've experienced it, but feeling my feelings was like releasing the pressure on a valve and allowing all that steam to come out, allowing myself to just have a moment to just be myself, be unhinged, cry on the floor, have a tantrum, not in public, like, you know, like really just like allow myself to release everything that was pent up in me. And the times that I gave myself permission to do that, I felt so much better. But also as well, at the same time, I was reading all of these books about the body keeps the score. And I even have a book over here that's all about the different areas of the body. And if something is an ailment in that body, what it, like part of the body, what that means about what's probably going on in your life and things like this, which then over time has advanced to me doing this intuition course where we actually use different aspects of what's going on in your body to understand where the root cause idea that you had from something in childhood has manifested from, because it is all connected. And more science is discovering this every day, which is like my most exciting thing about the last 12 months is that like everybody's conspiracy theories ever are like coming up and being like proven true. It is so cool. We live in a cool time. It is a bit turbulent. Yes, absolutely. But the thing that will anchor you into yourself is doing these little things to connect back to you, and also allowing yourself to feel what you feel in the moment and then resubscribing back to your new ideas of what you want to create, and trusting that like everything is happening for a reason in some way, shape or form. And it's your choice how you choose to interpret that. Everyone will have a different interpretation. Everyone else's interpretation has nothing to do with you. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need to control anybody else. This is a game of you versus you. There are other players in this game, but they're worrying about their own stuff and doing their own thing. And so, yeah. But learning to feel your feelings is a skill. Nervous system regulation is one of the best things you could ever start to learn about and do for your body. We literally subconsciously hold stress in our body all the time. And that is another episode that I'm going to go into later on. So we'll get into that later. But allowing your body to process emotional signals instead of suppressing them is essentially releasing the pressure, that nervous system regulation. It allows your nervous system to get you out of fight or flight and back into rest and digest. It's important, not just for your mental health, but also to reduce stress on your body, because even your posture, the way that you stand, all of these things signal things to your brain like, I am safe, I am okay, I don't need to feel like I'm running from a bear. But when we're not doing anything to understand this relationship, we sometimes outsource that and say, oh, well, it must be this thing that's causing this, when everything is actually our relationship to ourselves and the choices that we make because of this energetic signature, for lack of a better phrasing, is then manifesting what comes up later. It's so much deeper than that, but as the baseline, that's where it is. So like when you think something for long enough, like, oh, I hate my butt, and then you think it, and you keep looking at it, like your body starts to look like it's representing what you think that you are saying out loud and thinking. It starts to look like that in the mirror. Then you buy into more of that reality of, oh, see, I've been saying this and now it's true. I used to do this all the time. The amount of things that I manifested that I didn't want because of my mouth continuing to say things out of like an anxious habit and wanting to fill the space with my voice and wanting to also self-deprecate because that's what made me feel safe, manifested so many things for me. But it's amazing how our words connect to our brain and our body, and then the body and brain buy in. So it's important stuff is the point. So we want to feel our feelings. We want to recognize when we're holding on to something and not allowing ourselves to express. And it doesn't necessarily need to be to that person in the moment. Again, another episode later down the track will do communication things, but essentially sometimes just getting your feelings out because the moment's happening is not the best way to handle conflict or the thing that's coming up inside of you that you haven't dealt with in the past, that now all of a sudden this one person says the wrong thing and you're like, I'm going to fucking launch on you, mother effer. Like, I'm just going to project all of this stuff on you. Maybe that's not you, but it has been me in the past. I'm not necessarily fully proud of it. However, at the end of the day, this is something that has been a part of my journey that is educational for me to learn to love. And so knowing the difference between that version of me and the now version of me is also proof and evidence of the fact that these things to regulate your nervous system and release emotions are really valuable, and they work, and they just make you feel like high on your own supply, like you're sober as a judge, but you're also high on your life because you're like, oh wow, I let myself cry for like 3 hours yesterday and now I'm glowing and I no longer feel that thing that was weighing me down all week. Wow, I love this stuff. It's amazing. Having said that, what do you do if you can feel the feeling? So we want to get really good at asking ourselves questions, and we want to just get really curious. It's not about being perfect. I'm an ex-perfectionist. I understand the mental turmoil that comes with wanting everything to be perfect. This is a journey of self-discovery and learning, and every time you do it, you get better at it. Same as going to the gym, same as like learning to ride a bike. I don't know. I feel like at that point you can kind of peak, but maybe some people like get better and better at riding a bike. But essentially, skills are built over time. These are also skills. Financial mastery is also a skill. Communication is also a skill. You have a certain level of mastery up until this point, and you can always get better at everything if you choose to spend a little bit of time regularly to build the skill. So, why not do it for your emotions too? One of the best ways for feeling an emotion is Okay, let's use a real life example. So yes, maybe for the last, the crying example is actually real for me. So for the last week with this full moon situation, I've been feeling quite dense and heavy. And almost like there's an itch that I wasn't able to scratch. And I didn't really know what to do about it. Some days you just feel that way and you're like, oh, that's like itchy feeling. And you're not ready to buy into the fact that there's an emotion there to be released. That's okay. Don't demonize yourself in the future for not picking up on it straight away. It gets better with time. You get faster with practice. So when you notice the feelings, name them out loud. What am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling weighed down and I'm feeling itchy in my body or my nervous system more so. And it feels like I can't scratch it. And I really want to like tear people's heads off or like rip books apart or be destructive. But I know that I don't really want to be like that. But it's just how I feel on the inside. And if you were to label the emotion, what would the emotion be? So is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it regret? Is it pity? Is it being resentful? What are you feeling there? Just noticing that. Because even though it's a feeling, it is energy that's living in your body. And so the more that we can identify it, the more that we can play with the energy and slowly crumble it down. So does it have a color? That energy ball that you're feeling of this emotion, does it have a texture? Is there somewhere specific I'm feeling it in my body? If so, where? Or is it a little bit of everywhere? And start to work through those sorts of questions. So, what's the emotion? Where am I feeling it? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? Does it have a texture? If I was to touch it, what would that feel like? Does it want me? Does it need anything from me? What does it need? Is it hot? Is it cold? How would I describe it from that standpoint? And just ask it what it needs and just continue to explore what would happen if I allowed myself to feel these feelings today. Does it want me to express this out loud in a certain way? If it's wanting you to go to a certain person and say a certain thing that's really angry, maybe writing it down and burning the letter first, like an angry letter. So writing an angry letter to whoever or even to yourself, like a past version of yourself, and being like, dear so-and-so, I hate this so much. Everything sucks. Da-da-da-da-da. Write it all down. Really get it out. That's a somatic release as well. You're allowing yourself to be present to what you're feeling and you're allowing yourself to move it through you. And if you have a place where you can burn this safely, burning it and letting it go and saying, I set the intention and declare to let this all go to the universe. I am done with this now. If a different emotion comes back, I trust that it's a different thing and that this has been fully released, cleansed, cleared, and purified from my whole body. I set the intention to let it go. Goodbye. That would be one way to start working through emotions that are sitting there. You can write letters for literally any emotion that you're feeling. Anything that's left unexpressed and you feel like you want to move it out of you, letters are perfect. Slowing down your breathing to start regulating your nervous system. So inhaling for 4, holding for 2, and then breathing out for 6. Doing that at least 3 to 5 times. And then just checking in with yourself. How do I feel? Is it still there? Then going through the prompts. What emotion can I feel? Is it hot? Is it cold? What color is it? Working yourself through that. I had a really hard couple of days, the last couple of days. So this morning I asked my higher self, I set the intention, higher self, show me, give me some sort of clue. Setting your intention can be such a powerful thing. I tell people this all the time, but set the intention. I want to release my emotions today. Higher self, for the best and highest good, show me how. I set the intention today that I want to go somewhere to help me move this through my body. Where can you show me today? So for me today, I went to one of my favorite coffee shops, and then I took a walk somewhere that I haven't walked for a really long time that my parents actually showed me when they were up here on holidays one time. So it's this walking trail. It's completely covered in like forest green right next to the beach. So you can hear the ocean. You can hear all the birds in the trees. I even saw some beautiful birds like climbing through the trees. And I got to take this nice, beautiful walk all the way through the forest and then back along the beach a little bit. And then it started to rain. And I was like, okay, yes, this is cleansing me of this. This is great. On the way there, I saw a 666. On the way back, I saw triple zeros everywhere. So to me, 666 is a rebirth. I felt like I had all this emotion from the week that I wanted to clear. And then on the way back, I saw new beginnings everywhere. The universe, God, source, higher self is available to show up for you. They are sending you messages all the time. They're showing you the way all the time. If we can allow ourselves, give ourselves permission to be present in the moment, not on our phones, sometimes listening to music or whatever, but sometimes like just be in your real life for a second and allow the magic to rush up to you. You can that in itself is so regulating to my nervous system. Being surrounded by nature and having a wide expanse for your eye line is actually like scientifically proven to help you regulate your nervous system. Being surrounded by green is the same thing. 20 minutes by the ocean of the sound of the waves, again, regulates your nervous system. So there's so many different ways you can do this. Even just placing your hands on your chest and your belly, taking a few deep breaths just to connect back to yourself. But really, this is a journey for you to discover. So these are just some tips. I can't give you all the answers. I'm going to try my best to, but sometimes setting the intention and asking your higher self to show you what the best way is for you to regulate your feelings and move through your emotions, to set yourself up for the day, whatever it might be, is the key, is the tip, is what you should do. And so the more that you lean into that trust after setting your intention, the more that you create this relationship with the universe that you continue to build on forever. And you have that forever as your guide and as your safe space when you need to feel your feelings and you're hiding away from the world. So before I finish this episode, I'm going to give one last tip on feeling your feelings. This one's a little bit more abstract, but it's definitely a lot more fun. And so it's just dancing, but it's not just dancing. So I love dance. I love choreographed, structured dancing, but I also love silly, wild, and free dancing. And a lot of people talk about dance because it is incredible moving things through your body. You can really release and feel and express so many different things through moving your body. And so one thing I love to do is create playlists for different moods. So maybe it's like a sadness mood. Maybe it's like a sexy, I'm confident and beautiful mood. Maybe it's I'm angry and I want to tear this world apart and get rid of all of the baddies because I'm like some sort of superhero type playlist. That's probably a bit specific, but like angry playlist, definitely. Sad playlist, definitely. Even having a combo of all of the different songs that you know and love that make you like evoke certain feelings in you and make you think and feel certain things is powerful for you to move these energies through. And a great quick hits when you don't want to have to think about the emotion, you just want to rage and get it out. So creating these playlists and just letting the music move you, not thinking about the moves. Obviously do this in the privacy of your own home, setting the intention with your higher self or your guides or whomever you subscribe and believe to. Setting the intention, I want to release these feelings today, help guide me to the right music, or I'm going to use this playlist, help me release this. Help me be the baddest baddie on the planet and help me get it all out today. And just be with yourself and see what can happen. Set up some candles, set up some mood lighting, and just really let go and give it your all and see what happens. But truthfully, before doing anything else, before finding the perfection in things, before trying to see like the positive of it, before trying to be grateful, firstly, just give yourself permission to just be exactly as you are, exactly the way that you are, because that's also perfect too. I'm going to go into a lot of these a lot more later and throughout our time together, of course. But if you have any more questions about anything specific from this episode, always DM me. I love the DMs and I love any inspo or what's working or what you like or what you don't like and what we can create going forward together. So I'm sending love. I'm sending big love to all of you out there feeling your feelings. And just know that, like, you've got this. It is possible. And the more that you lean into what works for you, the more that you find your tools to build the toolbox of the things that you go back to as you continue to go through the journey and rebirth and rebirth and rebirth. If you're continuing to grow, you're going to continue to experience moments that will bring you to your knees and ask you, what is it here that you want to create? What is it here that you want to believe in now? What is it here that you need to feel in order to move on to the next thing? You know, this is a skill for life. And so add this one to the toolbox. Be present, be powerful, and be authentically you. And know that you're loved by me and by yourself. And you'll see more of that from the world around you, I guarantee it. I love you all. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing you all again on the next episode. Bye for now.